I'm just going to bring up my notes so I don't waffle too much. I'll be talking for about 20 minutes because I want to get it through to you, those resources, but I'm just going to don't say that. Go through in detail. Now, what do you call worrying? If you're watching this because you're like, yep, I'm a warrior and I want to stop, you know how exhausting it is, don't you? It is tiring and you feel like you can't turn it off and it just keeps on. You distract yourself and think, I don't want to think about it. And then inevitably it pops back in and it might be about work or it might be about your kids or it might be about 101 different things. And the truth is, worrying is a skill and it takes practice. And you didn't pop out of the womb being a warrior. You are capable of changing that. Um, Hello, thank you. I'm pleased you're here with me. Remember, if you're watching this and you want to chat and ask me any questions, don't forget to approve Restream. I'll put the little caption at the top. If you do chat.restream.io, it should be a little link somewhere that you can click on. It just means I can see your name as opposed to seeing Facebook user. So, what do you call it? Do you call it stressing? Do you call it worrying? Do you call it overthinking or, freaking out? And what I really want you to think about is you have tried to stop it. You have tried to manage it. And if you're still struggling with it, it's because you haven't had the right tools. And that's what I'm giving you today. Those simple tools that you can use. And the good news is, I'm going to get rid of that because it's in the middle of my chin. Get rid of that. The good news is that I'm not going to make you do meditation or yoga or deep breathing. Why not? Because those are firefighting tools. What I'm about is not creating the fire in the first place. There is, they work. Don't get me wrong. If you're freaking out, you've got anxiety, you've got fears or worries, breathing and trying to slow yourself down, connect all your body parts is important. But that's what you do after the worry is in the place. If we don't create the worry in the first place, then brilliant. You don't have to use the firefighting techniques. There's no fire to put out. So they're a temporary remedy. When I think about, I'm putting my notes up so I can look at you at the same time. Breathing, meditation, they're really good for connecting you to you so you recognize those early signs of worrying or anxiety. So I'm not saying don't do them. What I'm saying is there is more that you can do to stop creating the fire that will create long lasting results. Okay, I'll give you an example. Say you go to the oven you go to the doctor because you've burnt your hand. You took a tray out of the oven and your hand got burnt. Yeah. The doctor would give you cream and some bandages or something, and you would eventually heal. But if you kept burning your hand in the oven, really what you need is a pair of oven gloves or a tea towel to stop that happening. Or you might want a high end executive chef so you don't have to go near the oven in the first place. But if you don't have a chef or you don't have the funds for a chef, it's really about saying, okay, I need something to be able, the tools to be able to get my life working. Does that make sense? A little bit. Because it's about how do we stop getting burnt in the first place? How do we stop the heat getting through to us at deep level? So before we start, it's really important to recognize that everything we do has a useful intention. Yeah. Even the worry, even the stress, even the fears, they are there for a reason and they serve a purpose. If we can work out what that purpose is, we can change the behavior to meet it. The value. You worry about your kids going overnight to stay at a friend's house. Yeah. You're worried about them. You're thinking about them. That's coming from a caring place. And you have a fear associated it, but it's about the caring. That's because and love. And it's about understanding what is driving that behavior. What is it that worry is coming from? Okay, what is it that is creating that worry? Okay, if it's something at work, it might be a value of being professional or ambition or drive that you don't want to be judged badly on your actions. So if we can, that really helps with the next three tips that I'm going to give you. If you can work out where is it coming from, what is the positive intention behind what I'm doing, because it doesn't feel good, does it? No one likes worrying, but we do it for a reason. And if we can work out what that reason is, we can meet it in another way. So really understand what's creating the fear, because like anxiety, worry is fear with the benefit of time. So you get to really ramp it up. I'm going to go through that more in a minute, but I really want you to think, what is it that's generating this? Okay. I'll give you an example. A client of mine was worried about her emails. Emails, you gotta love them. They just pop up every hour of the day and night, and they're there, and you feel obliged to read them. And there might be one that's important, but you have to go through all the unimportant ones and the ones you've been copied into. And she was getting really anxious. She was really worried that she might miss that one important email. And was kind of trying to think of a strategy how she could get through all these emails. But what she had done in the background has built up all these what if bad scenarios that something might happen. Okay. And that's the first point. What if you're a worrier, which you probably are because you're watching this, you probably have had the question, what if, rumbling around in your head. What if that doesn't work? Or what if something goes wrong? And what if blah, blah, blah. And it's about saying, okay, what if, how do I respond to the what ifs? What am I going to do when I say what if? Because what ifs left unanswered just turn into a really ugly monster. And no one likes that. Do you? I don't know. Huh? Put in the chat if you are a what if person. That would be great, because I would love to know. So, number one, if you are you answering, try again. Number one, if you are asking the question, what if, and you feel yourself saying that, I really want you to think about what if bringing it back to the present. Okay, first of all, don't allow your brain to go 10 miles, 10 years, 10 days, 10 hours into the future. Try and bring it back to the present. And I want you, I'm just going to make my notes a bit different so I can read them. Really think, okay, I know I do what if to keep me safe, because if I think of all these awful situations, then I'm trying to protect myself. And what if question is ideal because for warriors, because then you can spend hours and hours trying to answer the what if. What if it goes wrong? What if he says this? Then I'll say this back. And always trying to get in the countermeasure. It's exhausting because you and I both know there are a million different outcomes to any scenario. And actually trying to think of this plan or response to every single one of those. So if you're a worrier, you're probably going to relate to being tired a lot because it's exhausting. You're always on your brain's always active, trying to think of the best case scenario and how you're going to respond to it. And what we need to think of is, how do I answer what ifs? How have you answered the what ifs so far? By trying to work out the response to the worst case scenario? Yeah, how's that worked for you? Not very well, is it? Because it just goes on. So, number. Sorry, I've completely lost my notes. I kind of thought it'd be really good to put it in reading view, but I don't have any idea where it goes. So I just put it back to normal. Cool, I'm back. Okay. So what you'll do if you go into what ifs, you will find that the results are exhausting, unproductive. But I want you to counteract it with a what if good. Because if you notice, what ifs are always bad. They're always, what if something wrong goes wrong, trying to protect ourselves. I want you to do what ifs, the good stuff. Creating that balance is going to help your brain be able to get perspective and be able to manage it and shut it down. Okay, because you're going to be able to say, yeah, what if bad stuff, but also what if good stuff? What if I go with that report and they say, oh my God, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Can you have another one? You're like, oh no, I don't want another report, but okay. And so really take time to create that balance by answering what if, but also make sure that you are aware of what ifs being future paced. And the what ifs, just answer them. What if? So if the what if the guy says that is rubbish, you have to go, sorry, I'll do it again. It's that catastrophizing we can do. So that's number one. Number two, which I have lost my one. What if? Number two. Number two is actually bringing yourself to the present. Okay, and I mentioned that earlier. Anxiety and fear, it's basically fear with the benefit of time, where you can really make it a big thing and ramp it up and catastrophize and make it something awful. But what we've got is that fear response, which is fight, flight, or freeze. And if we're attacked with something or something comes at us, we've got three options. Worry, you can't take actions because it's in the future. So you're just thinking of all the actions you're going to take and you're stuck. Do you ever get that feeling with being in worry, right? Yeah. That you're like, oh, it's just there and it's just going around in my head. How do we wipe that out? It's really about bringing yourself to the here and now. What action can I take right now? Because thinking about it isn't going to serve any purpose apart from exhausting me. So it's about really bringing it here, getting yourself out of the loop and say, what can I do about it now? In this moment, in this present moment, because thinking isn't an action, by the way, it's the doing that's going to allow you to break out the loop. So that's number two. Number three. Now, this is the most powerful one, and you're going to love it. Hopefully you will. You're going to acknowledge, embrace, let go. This is one that, a lot of people sort of say, yeah, distract yourself from the worrying, let it go, breathe. I have been a worrier. I'm a very active thinker now. And I know it can be really destructive. And I've tried that. Let it go. Ooh, let it go. No, it doesn't go as much as I wish it away. What works is by recognizing what you're feeling. Acknowledge, I am worried. Say it out loud somewhere if you can. I am really worried that my boss is going to shout at me and I'm going to get the sack. Because when you say it out of your mouth, it sounds completely different to in your head. So say it out loud. Obviously, not loud in the middle of your house when your kids are sleeping, but say it so it actually makes noise. Okay. Do it in the car, do it out of the house, wherever, but say what you're worried about. If you've got a friend, someone you can trust, say it. But choose a friend who isn't going to go, oh, yeah, that's awful. Not someone who's going to, a positive friend. And if you haven't got a positive friend, then join the Women with Ambition Facebook group, because there's me and there's lots of positive people on there. So fantastic. Little plug there. So one, acknowledge it. Say what it is you're feeling, respond to it. Don't try and distract yourself, because it's like a kid. If you try and ignore it, if you've got kids, you'll relate to this, they just carry on talking at you. And worries and anxieties are like that. They just carry on. And you try and not listen to it, but it's still there. And until you look at it and go, okay, I hear what you're saying, then it will allow you to go, oh, okay. Then I want you to give it a big hug. Like you would give your kids if they were worried. I want you to give the fear a big hug, which is, I really appreciate that worry, because it's coming from a loving place or an ambitious place or a proud place. I'm really appreciating you worrying about that. Thank you very much, because it means you care, and I like caring. Okay, really step up to it. I've had this coming here, talking to you today, and like, what are people going to say? What are they going to think? I might not be their cup of tea. And you know what? Probably not some people's cup of tea. Hopefully I am some people's. But it's about really stepping into it. When I went into the world of working with high level executives, so I stepped into that fear, and I encourage my clients to really step into that fear and really feel it. Push through that worry, push through that boundary. And if you're confused about that, drop me a message. I'll explain to you how you can push into that, really step into that fear that you're trying to ignore, because then you see it's not real. It's what we've created. It's false evidence appearing real. And if you're worried about kids and you're picturing the scenario where they go to a London school trip and they're abducted or something, then you're saying, but that's not false evidence. That might actually happen. Yeah, you're right. It might actually not. There are lots of kids in London who do not get abducted. In fact, I'm willing to bet there's a lot of kids in London who do not get abducted. So it's about how do you rationalize it. So I really want you to step up into it. And then I want you to walk through to the other side where what if this happens? And then we just stop, don't we? I want you to walk past where everything's okay. And you've gone past the fear, you've gone past the worry, and it's okay. So you can let it go. Oh, it was fine. It didn't work out, worst case scenario. Actually, he was quite happy with me. Whatever it is you are saying, get through it, push through, and get to the side where there's a good solution. Because at the moment, it's all in our head. None of this is real. And we can fabricate any outcome we want. We can fabricate a really awful one or a really positive good one. And the truth is, whatever we're thinking is not going to make any difference to the outcome. It really isn't. And so it's about saying, okay, everything's okay, getting through and choosing your happiness, making your happiness a priority. Because there will be a part of you that says, but you have to worry because you always have done. And that's what you do. You're a worrier. Your mum was a worrier. Probably your dad was a worrier. And you're a worrier. It's about really saying, no, I don't want to be a worrier anymore. I want to be a happier person, be a calmer person. I want to use my energy to focus on other things rather than being exhausted at the end of the day and really acknowledging the benefit of change. How is it going to be different for you if you change this, if we get rid of this worry? Because there's going to be resistance. You've worried all your life, or you've worried since you've had kids, or you've worried since you've been in this new job where they're restructuring. Okay, how is it going to be different if you don't? Because sometimes we worry because it means that we care. And if we stop worrying, then it means we don't care. But we do care. So does that make sense? That kind of loop? So how do you care without worrying? And there is a way for you. I'm not going to tell you how I do it because the way you do it will be different. But if you can't find that through, get in touch. I will help. That's my job. So in conclusion, 1, let me just remember what I've said because I always get it the wrong way around. Answer the what if questions and create that positive what if, not just the negative ones. Number 2, bring yourself to the present. What can I do about this right now? Because actually worrying doesn't help. What actions can I take? And if you can't take actions, then we're going to let it go. And number 3, acknowledge it, embrace it, really step into it and get through to the other side where you let go, where everything's okay and you can let it go. Let go of that worry. And you can. That's when the breathing comes in. And so I really want you to understand that your brain, the parts of your brain associated with worry and anxiety, they work 5 times quicker than our conscious brain. You know what we call the irrational brain. It works quicker. It's more responsive. It's based in our fight, flight, fear responses. Okay, so it's going to work quicker. So we need to know that we're not going to win a battle against worry. No amount of breathing or yoga or anything. There's going to be someone who says out there, I did yoga and it helped me dispel all my worry. Okay, there's going to be a few people out there that yoga's helped their worrying. But the majority of people can't win a battle with worry or fear because of their brain chemistry, the way their brain is made up. So rather than trying to shut it out, distract it, put it under the carpet, because that is going to be there, just like the child nagging you, you have to face it. Yeah, you want to face it. You want to let it go. So it's really important to tune in to yourself and step into it so you really know what you're saying and what the worry is coming from. Say it out loud so you can let it go. So that makes sense. Yeah. And you do have the power. And that's the best thing of your thoughts because you're generating the worry and you can generate positivity or happiness or calmness. You have power of your thoughts, not the emotion. That follows a thought. If you're thinking worst case scenario, guess what? You're going to worry. If you're thinking Best case scenario, you're going to be calm. If you collectively manage to create a balanced thought process, you're going to be balanced. Okay. So I'd really like to know what your thoughts are. Tell me the sort of things you worry about, because I might be able to, I will be able to, in the group, be able to help you respond to that worry so that you're not, oh, I'm worrying. How can I get rid of it? It's like, how can I stop creating that worry in the first place? So join in the group, leave a message. If you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, I am there. I have been away. I am back. My hair is considerably longer, and I am considerably chubbier than I was before because it's been a rough time. And just as a quick update, I'm not going live every week. I'm going live as many Thursdays as I can. I will also be doing interactive lives. I don't like this. I don't like looking at a screen. Might be easier for people. I like to talk to people. I like to help people. So the plan is I'll be doing 2 lives a month and 1 interactive session a month as well. So then I get 1 Thursday off where I don't, because actually this takes time. And then I'm also at the middle of next month launching a making time challenge, a way of saying, because most of my clients come to me, guess what their problem is? I don't have enough time. So I thought, what can I make people that they would really benefit from? Aha, making time, because actually we can make time. We can't generate an extra hour in the day and make it like a sort of 25-hour day. What we can do is use our time more wisely and work out the things that are getting in the way, such as expectations, those little things that us working mums do, or working women. In fact, men do it as well. So I'm not being gender specific. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to comment in the book, Facebook, in LinkedIn. Let me know your thoughts. And also let me know if there's anything you are struggling with that you think would be a really good topic for me to cover in live. So I'll see you later. Take care. Oh, I've got a little exit video with slightly enough music. Bye-bye.